Greetings, travelers, and welcome to another episode of Let's Play Classes in Golden Sun, presented by Draco Breach. Yeah, this is going to be another class episode, mainly because I want to go over some very important things for the Lighthouse, because you might want to change up your class structure now that you have access to all the Djinn in the game. I'm going to go over some potential party setups based on some research that I've done. I think I have 6 party setups that I want to show off, so this is going to take a little while, and it's also going to start to show off some of the weaknesses of the class system, but let's get to it. First of all, you can immediately see one of the weaknesses. Mia has no class that she can turn into. There's technically only 2 classes that I want to show you right now, because Isaac and Garrett will actually become the same class with their current setup, and I'll show that real quick. So if we turn on all of these Djinni, we get turned into the Samurai class that has access to Dragon Cloud, Demon Knight, Rockfall, Demon Spear. I mean, there are a ton of potential spells here. Now, you don't have access to the powerful Planet Diver, but you really don't need it. And I am going to show this right quick, because Garrett does the same thing. He becomes exactly the same thing. Now, the same thing happens here, and I believe it's 4 wind, and I'm going to have to double check, but basically we become a white mage, one of the most powerful healing classes in the game, with access to Prism, Plasma, Wish, Revive. I mean, you have a ton of different things that you have access to. And actually, I just want to double check something, because I need to stop doing that. Yeah, I need to find out the exact specs here. It will be... okay. Pretty sure it's 3 fire. It's gotta be 4 wind, I believe. Turns her into a scholar. That is not what I want. There it is. White Mage is for her 3 ground and 4 wind. I'm sorry, I got a little confused there. Anyway, I will prepare for the next setup. Okay, and next up are the dual elemental classes that require kind of the setup that you're seeing here. So first, we have Isaac. You're kind of noticing something similar. He's a barbarian now, but if we set the last one, he becomes a berserker. Yeah, we haven't shown this off yet. This is the most powerful class that he can become in this particular line, and berserkers have the highest attack, I believe, in the game. It has access to some powerful spells, so it's quite nice. And just to make absolutely sure, yeah, because he becomes a barbarian, which is significantly weaker. So, next we have Garrett, who will become also a berserker. You'll notice a lot of similarities when you have affinity elements. And Ivan will become the very powerful Sage class. Now, these classes, you'll notice, don't exactly have too many spells that are different from what we've seen before, but they are very useful classes. And this will make her into also a Sage. So that's the basic idea behind when you share affinities. Next up, we will be trading to basically our weaknesses. So, yeah, weaknesses. No. Oh wow, I am going backwards here. It can be interesting to try to make sure that you get these trades right. And this will make them change to the Conjurer and Water Monk classes. These are also very powerful classes. The Conjurer, let's see, has access to a lot of very powerful spells like Astral Blast, Gaia, and a lot of very helpful synergies, honestly. As for Mia, I'm going to unequip that. The Douse, the Prisms, I mean, in general, you can see the strength there. Next up, we have this setup, and I will show this off here. So Garrett will have access to cutting edge blast, various things like this in the Luminaire class, including healing. We're getting a lot of healing with this, with these particular classes. Ivan has access to Growth, Bolt. Bolt is a very powerful class of spells, so as you can see, we're just getting very, very powerful spells here. Next up, I believe, will be another just easy trade. Which we'll do. Basically, Garrett becomes the Conjurer, and Isaac becomes... Actually, I'm just going to double check here. Yep, pretty much the same spells. And the Guardian has some nice spells. Again, there are a lot of very nice spells that you can get by careful manipulation, basically. And then we do this. And Mia becomes a druid with some, probably one of the some of the most interesting spells in the game. And Ivan becomes a fire monk with the Slash and Plasma series. So now that we've seen all these classes and what they can offer, let's look at what recommended parties or formations we might have. So give me one moment to set that up. Now, of course, it is important to keep in mind that one very strong formation that we have, that we've been using pretty much the entire time is equip all the same elements to the same person, but now we're going to show off some different ones. So I actually have 6 different parties that I'm going to show off that are a little bit different. They have Isaac as a Dragoon, Garrett as a Samurai, Ivan as a Ranger, and Mia as a White Mage. This gives you two, what a lot of people consider super classes in the Samurai and White Mage, and two very powerful classes in the Ranger and the Dragoon. And you can see what they have equipped. Isaac is going to have 4 Mercury and 3 Mars Genie, and actually you can unequip one of the Mercury Genie. Just the extra Mercury Genie makes him a little more powerful. That gives him access to the Ply series, the Wish series, Cure Poison, Avoid, which I don't really use all that often. The Cutting series, the Thorn series, Blast series, and Restore, which is a very nice synergy to have. Garrett is going to have 4 Venus and 3 Jupiter Jin, and that he has to have exactly. He'll get access to Dragon Cloud, Demon Knight, the Rockfall series, the Lava series, the Spear series, which are nice, honestly, the Guardian series, and the Shell series. Next up is Ivan, who will have to have 3 Mercury and 3 Mars Genie equipped. An extra Mars Genie just makes him a little more powerful. He will have access to, let's see, the Slash series, Drench, Volcano, and Ward series. Not a lot of spells, but enough to really get by and to provide some powerful relief and backup. Mia is going to be amazing with 3 Jupiter Genie and 3 Venus Genie and 4 Jupiter Genie. She has access to Wish Revive, Cure Poison, and absolute domination with the Prism and Plasma series, as well as something to kind of say, hey, enemies, stop hitting so hard. So give me one more moment and I will prepare the next setup. Okay, and this particular party setup is arguably one of the best for attacking, but not so great for support. You don't have access to status affliction removal, such as Cure Poison or Restore. Isaac and Garrett we're used to because we've seen them as Lord and Champion before. Ivan and Mia are both Sages, with, as you can see, basically just swapped around. This gives you access to massive amount of healing with the Wish series, and of course massive damage with the Prism and Plasma series. And you can also break the enemy, which can be very useful. Mia is exactly the same. That setup is maybe a little boring to look at, but it's actually a little more powerful technically than the previous setup for pure attack power. And the next setup is actually going to be relatively equal to this, but a little less boring to look at, so give me just one moment to set that one up. Like I said, this setup is a little more interesting. It has Isaac as a Guardian, Garrett as a Berserker, Ivan is a little boring as a Magister, and Mia is a Water Monk. Now this gives you access to a lot of healing with Ply and Wish and Revive. Of course, Cure Poison, Avoid, which again I don't really use all that often, but it also gives you powerful attack options with Cutting Edge and Briar. Garrett is going to have Growth, because why not? Again, Revive, Planet Diver, Spire, the Blast series, which is always nice to have, and the ability to tell the enemies, whoa, slow down and do less damage. So there's that. Mia is going to have access to more healing. This party is very good at staying alive, disrupting the disrupting the enemy's formation, and still throwing out very powerful spells and attacks. And one more moment, I will have the next party setup up and ready for you, and it's actually one of the more popular ones that was run in the meta years and years ago. Now, like I said, this was a very popular setup years ago, back when people did Link battles. Unfortunately, it leaves Mia very vulnerable and very weak, but the classes are Ninja, which we have seen before, with Gale, let's see, Death Plunge, which we took advantage of a lot, Shuriken, Punji, the Firebomb, and some pretty powerful abilities there. Garrett as a Samurai does some very powerful things as well. So, I mean, he's very good for support and very good for attacking. So he's there to be a decent guy. I mean, honestly, this setup here is very good. These three are going to be doing a lot of work, especially Ivan as a white mage, keeping you alive, and Prism and Plasma, because they are incredibly powerful. Mia still has some options, and with this setup, you technically don't need any of those Mercury Djinn on her. However, she's very fragile without them, so I do recommend equipping them. She's not going to have too much, but you do have Wish. Deluge is actually a very powerful spell, so that's a nice thing to have there. Of course, Hail Prism, so she does have some options for attack, but as you can see, doing a quick comparison, she is very squishy. Yes, she's a little more defensive than Isaac, but Isaac is still going to be doing so much damage in the ninja class that it really doesn't matter. So, with that out of the way, there's just 2 more parties to show you, and next week we can get on with the story. Now, here is a very powerful class setup that I personally like a lot. There is one more that is arguably better because of the damage that it does, but this setup right here is very nice to have. There's no one that's really squishy in this, so that's always nice to have. And there are 2 very powerful attackers in Isaac and Garrett. But let's go over them right quick. Isaac is, of course, a ninja. Him as a ninja is a very popular choice because he can do a lot of damage very, very quickly. In this setup, we have 1 extra Earth Djinn set to him, just for a little bit more, a little bit less squishiness. We've already seen what he has here, so, whoops. Garrett as a Berserker, we've kind of already seen what he has here. Popular classes are very popular for a reason. Isaac as a Sage, again, we've seen what he does here. Now, Mia as a Ranger, I don't believe we've actually seen what it does for the party setup here yet. But she has the Slash series, Deluge, which is always nice to have, Eruption, and with Ward and Resist, she does offer some ability for the party to survive more hits. Now, there is one more class setup that I do want to show that was very popular, and I also like this one. It's very, very strong and can hit incredibly hard, and you'll see why in just a moment. Okay, this party setup really is incredibly popular, especially for the main game, and it is popular in the meta because it is very balanced. It's very, very able to inflict status ailments on the enemy, very capable of keeping your team healed up and healthy, and still capable of dealing a lot of versatile synergy damage straight to the enemy party and penetrating their defenses. Isaac as a Conjurer brings you just a ton of damage with Gaia. He can buff up your party with Impact and Resist, weaken the enemy. Quite frankly, Astral Blast, Gaia really is a nice little setup for him to have. Garrett as a Berserker, I think we've actually seen this before. Yeah, we have. So we already know what he brings to the table, and yeah, all this right here can be very, very dangerous to whatever enemy you're facing. And in this setup, actually, Garrett gets the higher attack. Ivan is going to be nice with the Sage. We've already seen this before because Prism, Plasma. I really don't need to see any more. Those are 2 of the most powerful spells in the game. Mia is going to be very powerful as a Water Monk, having more healing, Deluge again, Prism again. So, I mean, you're very capable of dealing with a lot of stuff with this particular party. And it is very popular for a very good reason. It is strong, it is powerful, it is balanced. The only other thing to keep in mind is that you really don't need to worry too much about classes in the main single-player campaign. A lot of this is more for the meta that was active years ago and isn't really all that active anymore. But it still can be fun to play around with classes. So this is the last class episode, because we have all the Jin now, and we are very, very capable. I will probably reset to just the basic class setup for the rest of the game, but for the time being, this will be Draco Breach reporting out. God bless and safe travels.